Hi, welcome. Thank you for tuning in today. Let's focus on inflammation today and go a bit deeper into inflammation than you may have experienced before, so that you begin to understand how inflammation plays a significant role, an integral role in the creation of illness and disease. Now, disease and illness is very complex, though after you've been involved in human health and disease and illness as long as I have, it becomes more clear and more simple to understand what's going on and what's creating it. So, to keep it simple, I'm going to basically share with you inflammation in two ways, two parts. There's macro inflammation and there's micro inflammation. Now, your body it has a feature, it utilizes inflammation to help it heal and to help it be healthy and to help it survive, as long as it's temporary. Now, if it's consistent and ongoing, that's where it begins to get serious and degenerative. So macro inflammation is what you're more familiar with. When I say inflammation, it's what you think about. So macro inflammation is more temporary. It's inflammation that occurs, say, when you twist your ankle or have some form of physical injury. What happens? You notice actual physiological swelling in that area. And your body's doing that to target, focus healing energy in that area to help it heal, be healthy, and to survive. Another example is a bee sting, same thing. You'll notice swelling. So, again, the key thing about macro inflammation is that it's temporary, that your body gives and focuses energy for a temporary amount of time. Now, micro inflammation is more significant, it's more serious, and it's oftentimes more unconscious to most people. Most people are unaware of micro inflammation. And, we live in a world today that is more stressful and more overstimulating and more overwhelming than ever before. And a big reason for this is the rise of technology over the last 41 years, and particularly wireless technology, and all the stress that we experience on many different layers and levels. And this creates microinflammation, inflammation that's happening at a more of a cellular, more nervous system level. And so, what are some of the sources of microinflammation? Well, one of the more significant sources of microinflammation are traumas, unhealed, unresolved traumas that create inflammation in the nervous system, in the nerves, in the fascia of the nerves, that get triggered from various levels of stresses in our life. Another layer and level is environmental stresses, environmental toxins that your body's having to process and try to be healthy in, which creates stress on your body, which creates microinflammation. Another level is what you're ingesting into your body consistently, and the toxins and what you're ingesting into your body. And here, again, is stress and microinflammation that's happening more consistently. Another layer and level of microinflammation is the stress from EMF radiation that's more and more around your living environments, your work environments, and even when you're out in the world due to wireless radiation. This is very stressful, and again, it creates microinflammation more at a mental, neurological level within your body. Now, why is this so significant? Because your body's having to process this constantly. It's having to utilize its energy to process this, to manage this, to attempt to be healthy and to survive. Now, the real tricky thing here is, and why most people don't notice microinflammation and all the levels going on within your body, is because your body's also designed to adapt. Again, to be healthy and to survive. But the real tricky thing about this is that it adapts to healthy things and it also adapts to unhealthy things. Again, to try to be healthy and to try to survive. So I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. So if you had traumas early on in your life, your body began to adapt to that because it was a constant source of stress, a constant source of stimulus. And your body was, moment by moment, hour by hour, day by day, figuring out how to adapt to this stress from this trauma, whether it was physical, emotional, or mental. So, but this lives inside of you. It becomes embedded in your brain, in your nervous system, and it becomes a part of how you function and how you operate, unless it is healed, unless you go about the process of unraveling that out of you. And again, what I'm focused on here is that you adapt to that. You don't notice it as much because your body's figured out how to manage it, but it's still a stress. It's still creating microinflammation on a consistent basis. And illness and disease is created. It's created at these subtle layers and levels within you that are happening, that are occurring consistently and constantly, moment to moment, hour to hour, day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year. And so most of what Western medicine and even most of holistic medicine, where the main focus is in relationship to illness and disease, is here at the surface. The results, the symptoms, any name you can name of any and all illness and disease, cancer, Parkinson's, Lyme's, all of it is here at the surface level. Now, the level underneath this is what I call your operating system, your internal operating system. It's how you are functioning inside yourself, your brain, your neurology, emotionally, spiritually. And again, this all is how you process life moment to moment, how stressful you process life, or how joyful and peaceful you process life. Now, underneath this is what I call the roots or the origins. It is what is stimulating or creating this second layer and level of your internal operating system. It is the traumas that are unresolved. It is the toxicity in the foods and the things that you're ingesting in your body. It's the environmental toxins that you're living around and your body's processing consistently. It is the EMF radiation all around you that your body's processing consistently. And again, these are affecting and creating stress within your internal operating system and how you are processing, how you're filtering life moment to moment. Because your body, physiology, is divinely designed to do one thing. Every breath you breathe and inhale into your body, and every pump of your heart, it's doing one thing, and that is to be healthy and survive. Your body physiology is a bioelectric liquid life form. You're mostly water. It's highly sensitive. It's processing everything going on around you every second. But your body's ability to do that one thing, to be healthy and survive, is all contingent on how well you care for it, how well you listen to the signals it's giving you every second, every breath, and how healthy of a life that you live all results in your sustainable health, your sustainable well-being. And so again, I hope you now have a bit more awareness on inflammation, how inflammation is occurring, and the significant role that inflammation is playing in creating illness and disease inside of you. And now you have a bit more awareness of yourself, your body, your life. And, all of this again, particularly in the microinflammation area, can be very subtle. It can be very unconscious. It's oftentimes why people, when they discover or given the diagnosis of a disease, they're rather shocked. They don't understand, like, how did this happen to me? Because they become so unconscious of this whole level and layer of microinflammation, of all the micro stress that their body's constantly processing. And this is the whole area where I'm most interested in, where I focus, these two layers, your internal operating system and the origins and roots, because you can be free of disease and illness. I see it every day, but it's here where the main focus is. It's here where most people need help and support, because it's here where this is most unconscious to people. What their habits are, what their patterns are, what their behaviors are that are creating these micro stresses and all this microinflammation. So I wish you and your family health and harmony and happiness. If you'd like to learn more about my holistic health and healing service, I welcome you and invite you to ascendedvitality.com, and I welcome you to contact me there. All right. Thank you.